We all know that adolescent 80s role-playing games are all the rage right now in the role-playing game market. We also know that creepy clowns are really popular this year because of a certain movie. So when I came across a role-playing game that merged those two genres and was affordable and really kind of unique, I wanted to get a copy of it and tell you folks about it. It is Versus Stranger Stuff, Send in the Clowns. Let's take a moment and tell you a little bit about it. So, Versus Stranger Stuff, Send in the Clowns is available from Fat Goblin Games, and you can get this right now through drivethrurpg.com. I'll put a link for this game in the comments. Right now it's on sale, so that's even better. So definitely want to jump on this before too long. Even if it's not on sale and you're watching this after the fact, it's still reasonably priced. The PDF is on sale right now for $7 or $6.95, and usually it's $9.95. The hardcover is on sale for $11.95, and usually it's $14.95, and then you can get the bundle, the PDF and the hardcover for $12.95, which is a really good buy right now. So, Versus Stranger Stuff. This is a very small book. It is 50 some odd pages, I think. Let's take a look. Yeah, it's 54 pages. This is a really cool game. I'm going to tell you why I really like it. So if you've been watching this channel at all, you pretty much know that I was an 80s kid, and I'm sure that's why that setting is becoming very popular, is because a lot of folks like myself and around my age range who grew up in the 80s are all of a sudden getting back into role-playing games, or branching out from their popular role-playing games and finding all these other games that are being put out in the market that are set in the 80s where you play as kids. The way this works is you're kids, and instead of dice, you use a deck of cards, and you put the deck of cards right in the middle, and everybody uses that, and that determines your outcomes, and those are kind of like your quote-unquote dice rolls. So the way you build a character in this game is you basically pick a name. You have two attributes. One is brains, one is muscles. You either have a 6 in one or a 4 in the other, and we'll tell you how those work in a little bit. You also have a couple traits, I guess you would call them. One is good, one is bad, and yeah, that's all it is. It's really easy. You have a 10 toughness, and those are your hit points. Really simple to set up a character. And then you can get all sorts of different stuff from the 80s that you would have as a kid. You can have a pocket knife, you can have a video game system, you can have skateboard, all these different things. And usually you can figure out, you can either ask your GM if you can have it as an item, or a lot of times you can draw as a card. You draw a card and say, okay, I want a skateboard, and we know that the skateboard is a 3, and if you pull a card that's higher than a 3, then you definitely have a skateboard. Now you can't have a whole bunch of items because, as a kid in the 80s, at least in my house, we didn't have a whole lot of different toys. So, I would use that kind of sparingly. Maybe you have 3 or 4 different items that you carry with you. I love how they said that, if you don't get something, say you wanted a particular item and you don't pull the card for that, and you can't get it, it's almost like you're waiting for your next birthday or Christmas to come along and for your parents to get it for you. And I like that because it kind of makes some of your character creation, that process, part of your background on your character as well. So the way this game works is there's a GM, and he or she tells a story, and if there's any combat or anything, the initiative goes from the GM's left, and it goes all the way around, and that's a turn order. The way combat works is you draw cards up to your attribute score. So if you have a 6 in muscles, you would draw 6 cards, and you'd play whatever the highest card is in your hand, and if that beats the opponent's toughness, then 1 point of damage. Of course, if you're using different weapons, it might create more damage, so maybe you do 2 damage with a slingshot or something. This book does do a really good job of talking about clowns. There are all sorts of different clowns described in this book, and it is really just does a great job of setting the tone and making sure that your GM has lots of options for creepiness. So it even has clown lingo, which is, I didn't even know the clown lingo was a thing. So I think that that's pretty funny. It gives you some plot points. You know, it tells you where you can set the game in, like what maybe it's a government facility or a clubhouse. Or the other thing that I like about this book is that it has 3 adventures in it, and the first one especially is one that I really like. It is a 4-part adventure, and it randomizes. So at the beginning of your session, you'd have players draw 3 cards, and then based on the suits of those cards, Act 1 goes a certain way, Act 2 goes another, and Act 3 goes another. So this would be a really great RPG to play as a one-shot at a convention, which I intend to do, and you could play it multiple sessions because of the fact that things randomize. There is a kind of an overlaying storyline for the most part, but at least if players played it more than once, not everything's going to be the same. I did order a physical copy of this book because of the fact that I wanted to bring this to conventions, and it draws more attention when you have a physical copy there. I know that your friendly local gaming store can order this book for their stores, and I would encourage them to do so, especially with Halloween coming up shortly. Maybe having these on hand, because the price point isn't all that much for an RPG book, and it's small enough so that you could put it by the register, and I think it would be a pretty good impulse buy. And if you're interested in your store having copies of these on hand, I would mention it to them. The back of the book has a page for NPCs. The back of this book has some really weird stuff. It's got like a paper prop doll and clown standees and some maps, which maps of course kind of come in handy, but I don't think I'd ever use the paper doll standee. I thought it was funny, but yeah, I don't think that it was kind of an odd choice to put in this book, I guess, is my comment on that. I will say that they also have their, I don't know if you want to call it generic, but it's versus Stranger Stuff rule setting, which this is based off of. It's an adolescent 80s RPG setting for free right now, which is great. Usually it's a couple bucks, so it's less than the price of a coffee at a convenience store. So if you're watching this after the fact, even at $2, it's worth picking up. Definitely want to add that to your Drive-Thru RPG account while it's free and it doesn't cost you anything, and you can RPG roleplay as kids in the 80s and get into all sorts of mischief and go on strange adventures, and just like those movies you watched growing up in the 80s. All right. I guess that's going to do it for me. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you are interested in any of the products that I just mentioned, versus Stranger Stuff, Send in the Clowns, versus Stranger Stuff, just the regular game, check out the links down below. Check out Fat Goblin Games. Alright, that's going to do it for me. My name is Doug. This has been Victory Condition Gaming, because winning shouldn't be the only victory condition when you get to the table. Thanks for watching, folks. We'll see you on the next video.